Okay, I'm ready. What's up, everyone? Everyone always talks about how when I come on to my live streams, how I always pause for a minute. It's because there's actually an 8-second delay, but you don't really know if you're on or not. So, want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone here that celebrated Thanksgiving over the last 2 days or so, and welcome to Black Friday. This is a special live stream with a big announcement. And this big announcement is that I have put together all the educational products that I've ever made all in one bundle. Created a new website for it, and it's just called BeatoBlackFriday.com. It's in the description, and it's all the different things. For example, it's the Beato Ultimate Bundle. And I'm going to answer questions. We're going to talk about other stuff today, but I want to go through this. So I've compiled everything into one bundle. This bundle will go away in 7 days. There's a countdown timer, and that's it for the rest of the year. Okay, so this is really a lifetime worth of information that I've gathered and that I've taught, right? So my ear training method, I was a college professor back in the 80s and early 90s, and I taught ear training. Not only did I teach ear training, but I taught remedial ear training to people that couldn't pass ear training. And through that, I learned how to teach people, especially people that were found it difficult. A lot of percussion majors and things like that that didn't have training on a particular instrument, and they needed to pass ear training in order to get their degree in music, because if you failed, you couldn't do it. So there's 80 video lessons in my ear training course. And I want people to know my ear training course is really for beginners, begins for beginners, and then it gets advanced. If you can get through all the early chapters, some of the chapters are incredibly advanced. And if you see the things that my son Dylan can do with perfect pitch, you can do this with relative pitch if you practice this for a long time, right? So there's 80 video lessons in it. There's hundreds of interactive training modules that you can use. You can practice in your browser. There's a 27-page booklet that is talks about the theory involved with the ear training, like about how to name intervals, things like that, right? This is what I use when I'm learning songs by ear. When I started, I didn't know what these things were called, but I could recognize them. I knew what a minor third was. I could recognize it. And then I just had to learn, oh, A to C is a minor third, and eventually you just hear these things after practice, and then you can do them really quickly. It helps you sound out melodies. It helps you learn songs quickly because you start to recognize the sound of chord progressions. If it's a suspended chord, if it's got an added second, add 9 chord, things like that, you start to recognize all these things through practice, okay? My Beato book is included, my Beato book 4.0. It's a 500-page music theory textbook that I wrote in 1989 when I was a college professor. And I've revised it 4 times over the years, really every year since I started my YouTube channel. That's included in the bundle. My quick lessons guitar course, which started off, it's a 5-hour video course where I break down my popular Instagram quick lessons and teach you the theory behind each concept. So I basically just present concepts, and then I teach you about those concepts. And I'll have transcriptions of the lesson plus more things to do, with tab and things like that to talk about that. 5 hours of video content. There's musical notation and guitar tab and Guitar Pro profiles for those of you, those guitar players that use Guitar Pro. And then there's a 90-page PDF bundle. These PDFs are transcriptions from my lessons on Instagram and YouTube. And these cover a whole wide variety of styles: rock, classical, modal, progressive metal, jazz. And this is all for $99. There's no discount code. It's just one click on the website. If you bought one of these things and you thought, I'd like to try Rick's, I got his Beato book, I'd like to try his ear training course, this is the time to do it, because all this put together is less than my ear training course. Okay, so even if you bought one of the things, or even if you bought a couple of things, this is really a chance to get in on everything that I do with just one purchase. So This took a lot of effort to put it together by Aaron, who created the website and made it able to do it, which I really appreciate it. Aaron's helping out. He's in the chat here. Anyway, so now I'm going to go on to talking about other stuff that's coming up. So I just interviewed Tommy Emmanuel up in Nashville just a few days ago. I'm editing the video. The video will be out on Tuesday. For those of you that don't know Tommy, he's one of the greatest guitar players ever. Just an absolute genius. Australian. I've been a fan of Tommy's for years and years and years, and we got together at the Gibson showroom up in Nashville, and Tommy's just, oh man, wait till you hear it. I asked Tommy, I was like, Tommy, what do you practice? Like, what's something that you practice? So he started improvising on a blues. He goes, well, sometimes I'll take a blues and I'll just practice modulating up a half step every time around. So he'd do one chorus on a blues, then he would modulate up a step. So he started like an E, then he'd go to F, then he'd go to F sharp, then to G, then to A flat, then to A, and it was ridiculous. And I'm sitting, 1 foot away from him watching him play, and it was amazing. It's like my experience sitting next to Pat Metheny or sitting next to Sting. When you see, one of your idols playing like that, it's just incredible. I mean, it's really, really incredible. I mean, Tommy is an amazing improviser, and he has some of the most beautiful arrangements and original music as well. And you'll hear he plays a lot in the video. So I haven't finished editing yet because it's kind of like the Sting video where I had 3 cameras and it's editing between the cameras is tricky. And these video shoots that I've been hiring people for, they're more difficult to do, and I've never actually. I pretty much shoot with 1 camera most of my videos. So when it's 3 cameras, it's about 3 times the work to do it. But it's really really cool. So somebody just said in here they missed my huge announcement. My huge announcement is if you go to beatoblackfriday.com, you can see my my new Beato Ultimate Bundle. It's my ear training course, my Beato book, my quick lessons guitar course, and 90 PDFs, all for $99. If you wanted to get in on any of these, or just have one of my products or a couple of them and wanted to get all of them and support the channel and improve yourself as a musician, this is how you do it. Go to beatoblackfriday.com. If you go to rickbeato.com, you can click the link and it'll take you right there. But we created a special website just for today, and this goes away. It's a 7-day sale, and with a countdown timer, and it goes away, and that'll be it until next year. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see here. I'm looking in the comments section. I see Jason Carter says Peter Frampton remains one of my favorites. What a great guy. I think you're talking about the Peter Frampton interview. So I made a new playlist on my YouTube channel. And excuse me. And the new playlist is all of my interviews put together. So I think there's a couple that I forgot to put in there, like my Antonio Sanchez interview is not in there, which I just remembered, and my interview I did with oh boy, there's a couple other interviews that I forgot to put in there, but the Pat Metheny interview's in there, the Sting interview, the Brian May interview. That's on my second channel, Rick Beato 2. If you don't subscribe there, definitely subscribe there. Let's see. Sergey says, Rick, have you heard Jeff Beck live at Ronnie Scott's? If yes, what's your favorite track from it? I have heard. Of course I've heard that. What's my favorite track? Boy, I'd have to think about that. I'm not big on favorite tracks. I did. I have been, since I interviewed Sting. One of the things that I wanted to say to him that I really didn't mention. I mentioned the tune "I Burn for You," but the particular version, I actually talked to him before the live stream about this Symphonicities version, which I think is really incredible. It's that the version of that song, and it's better than the one he did on "Bring On the Night," on the live record with Kenny Kirkland and Branford Marsalis and that band, Omar Hakim. I thought that was a great arrangement, but this blows it away. With the symphonic, with the string arrangement, and he just kills it. It starts in E minor and then it modulates down to C sharp minor or D flat minor, and it's absolutely beautiful. And the video, this record, if you're not familiar with it, Symphonicities, came out in 2011, and it's really one of Sting's best records. I think it's one of my favorites. Some of the arrangements are just incredible. Let's see. Abish. I'm going to butcher the name. Hey Rick, can you make a video on home studio acoustic treatments? I've been meaning to make a video on how I built this studio, and just acoustic treatments. They don't have to be home studio acoustic treatments. Anything's, actual commercial studios. They should really be. Well, okay. Let me say this: most studios have non-parallel walls. Okay, so if you were to be in this room, the wall in front of me is splayed like this. Okay, the ceiling, I have diffusers on. Floor and ceiling are parallel, but there is no parallelism because of where the diffusers are, and all the pedals and things like that. The windows are angled that go into the control room. There's really no parallel walls. That wall is angled. That wall is angled. There's angles everywhere here, right? And what that does is it prevents standing waves, okay, and flutter echo, things like that. Those are things that you can do. There are if you go to Oralex or GIF. What is it? GIF. It's a company here in Atlanta that make acoustic treatments. Basically, you can take, and I always tell people nowadays that I wouldn't build things with if you're building a control room in your basement, I would actually make the front of the room, I would actually build it with angles in it, okay? But if you have a live room, I would just find there are wall treatments that will treat any room to make it sound good now, even if it's a rectangular room, if it's a square room. Well, most rooms are not square, so rooms are going to be rectangular. So it's almost easier to treat a rectangular room than it is to start moving walls in, because typically what ends up happening is you start limiting your space. If you start with a limited area, let's say you have a 800 square foot room, a good sized room, right? But then you start angling one of the walls, you start losing square footage, right? And over the course of you start angling different walls, and all you're doing is making your room smaller. So I would treat a rectangular room at this point. So that's what I tell people now if they ask me my advice on that. So, Peter from Russia. Greetings from Russia. Thank you for your work, Rick. Thank you, Peter. Really appreciate it. Meniscus Brothers. Love your channel, Rick. Keep up the great work. Would love to see me break down something by my favorite guitarist, Nuno Bettencourt. Ellis. I would love to break down something with Nuno, and I have Nuno and I have chatted a couple times, and he's a great guy. He's a phenomenal guitar player, and I will do a video with Nuno. So that's a great idea. I've wanted to do a video with Nuno. I tried to get together with him one time when I was in LA. I think it was in last May when I went, but I think he was out of town at the time. But I talked to him just before I went to town there. But I need to reach out to Nuno and definitely do that. Okay, I'm going to butcher this name. Poma. Let's say, Rick, do you have a chance to check out your subscriber suggestions from previous live stream? Regards. Suggestions as far as what is concerned. What suggestions? I get so many comments on those live streams, and it's hard to kind of go back to those. Really difficult. If you want to reach out to me, then if you want to reach out to me, you can just write to me on my website. Somebody says, who is Nuno? Nuno Betancourt? Oh my gosh, come on, you know Nuno Betancourt. Okay, so once again, what's up, Renzo? Once again, the surprise of today, the big announcement, the huge announcement is my Ultimate Beato bundle. If you go to beatoblackfriday.com, all of my educational courses that I've created through a lifetime of work and learning is all put together in one on this website, and you can purchase it all together. If you own just one thing, if you own my Beato book and you were curious about the ear training program or wanted to get it, this is the time to do it. If you own my ear training course or were wondering about the Beato book, which is my music theory textbook, or my quick lessons guitar program that has 5 hours of video course with PDFs and tab and guitar profiles, this is the time to get it. Max says, hi from Russia, Rick. What about the Strokes? Do you like the Strokes? I like the Strokes. I get asked about the Strokes a lot. I don't know why I haven't done a Strokes video yet. I haven't done a lot of what makes a song greats lately, just because I'm kind of in the process of finishing a couple of them that involve artists being in them, and it's and that's why, because I haven't had a chance to have them in on it. And one of the ones I'm working on is really complex. Okay, it's a famous song off a famous record, and the artist is going to be in the video. So, but it's a really difficult breakdown. What Philadelphia musicians have I worked with? I used to live in Philly. Plenty of them. Let's see here. No one that no one famous, though, I don't think. If I worked with anyone famous from Philly, I can't remember. I don't think so. Mitch says, Rick, love your show. Your mastery of harmony theory, production, secrets, tips, instrumental skills, and so much more is unmatched. How does one go about buying the Beato book in England? So my book is a downloadable PDF, 500-page, and it's part of my bundle that I'm selling today. So just go to beatoblackfriday.com. We created a special website for it, and you can get it there. Let's see here. Let's see. I see a Michael Jackson, what makes this song great? I've not done a Michael Jackson. Bobby Huff, my good friend Bobby Huff. If you don't follow Bobby, you should follow Bobby. YouTuber, producer, songwriter. Bobby says, is it true Steely Dan wrote Black Friday for Black Friday? That's not true. But if you watched my top 20 drum grooves of all time, you'll hear my my version of Black Friday on it, because that's in my top 20 grooves of all time. Nevniet, is that how you say it? Have I watched the Beatles? Have I watched Get Back yet? I have not watched Get Back yet. You can see who my favorite Beatle is. There's my John Lennon painting right there that my friend Rosa did. That I love. It just came out yesterday. I will watch it. I'm looking forward to it. Vicus, greetings to me. Any chance you'll do a video about Joe South? There's a chance that I'll do a video about a lot of things. It's getting around to it. That's the problem. Robert Paul, thank you, Robert. Let's see here. Let's see, Rick. Have I heard the new Homage to Pat Metheny by John Pizzarelli? You know, I've not heard that. I have not heard that. I know that he did one. I know that he interviewed Pat in print for a magazine, but I've not heard it. Roger Smith says, have I ever heard of Leonid and Friends? They're a Russian group that does, yeah, they do Chicago covers. They're great. They're in the U.S. now. You know, I thought I saw that they were here, that they were touring through here. I've not seen them, but I went and I looked at when I did the breakdown of Make Me Smile, What Makes a Song Great, I went and watched their version of it, and then I kind of watched a bunch of their versions. It's really, they're excellent. Although it took two guys to sing Terry Kath's one vocal part, so they had a guy on the lower part, and then in the upper part, they needed a different person. James Hetfield, not the James Hetfield. Hey, Rick, do you think about featuring some more Metallica songs? What makes a song great? Something from Ride the Lightning, maybe. You know, I've not done a Metallica video in a long time, and I was just talking about a Metallica video in the last few days, about doing a Metallica video. You know, one of my friends said to me, Rick, why haven't you done videos on all the big records that came out in 1991 that are all having their 30th anniversary? And I'd made a video about this, about 1991, but we had Metallica Black Album, we had Pearl Jam 10, we had Nirvana Nevermind, we had Blood Sugar Sex Magic by the Chili Peppers, we had Bad Motorfinger by Soundgarden, we had Swerve Driver's first record, we had Loveless by My Bloody Valentine, we had U2 Achtung Baby, we had Gish by Smashing Pumpkins, came out earlier that year. This was an amazing year. 1991, oh man, incredible. One of the best years for rock music ever. Really, really one of the best years for rock music 30 years ago. I mean, each of those records kind of deserves a video, but, you know, that's just... it's hard to make a video on a record. I mean, it takes me about 20 minutes to make a video on one song. So, so there you go. Jesus Jones, 1991. Was Jesus Jones? I thought Jesus Jones was 1990. Right here, right now. Hold on. I'm going to look at this. Jesus Jones. Somebody look at Jesus Jones. I can't get it right now. I want to say it was 1990, but maybe it was 91. But they were on the cover of Rolling Stone. Are Jesus Jones the savior of rock music or something like this? Like literally right before the biggest explosion of rock happened, they had Jesus Jones. Let's see here. Neoclassic. What about a video on Jason Becker? I've been asked about a video on Jason Becker many times, and that's something I'd like to do. Alice in Chains Facelift, 1991. Facelift must have been, so I guess that was earlier in 1991. All those big records, not saying the Facelift wasn't a big record, because Gish, Smashing Pumpkins, I want to say came out in March. That's one of my favorite Smashing Pumpkins records. But all these other records, Pearl Jam, Metallica, Nirvana, Chili Peppers, Soundgarden. All those records came out starting in August of 1991. It was a great time. It was a great time for rock music. Absolutely, pretty unparalleled, really, other than maybe 1971 or so. They have all these amazing records come out back to back. Once again, I'm going to do one more plug for my Beato book Ultimate Bundle, my Beato Ultimate Bundle today. For Black Friday, I have compiled every educational product I've ever created into one bundle. This bundle will go away after a week. There's a countdown timer on it. It's a lifetime worth of materials, learning materials included for you, so you can become better musicians. My ear training method, which has 80 video lessons, hundreds of interactive training modules, and a 27-page booklet. My Beato book 4.0 is a 500-page music theory textbook, which I've revised 4 different times. We're on the 4.0 version. It's a 500-page PDF. Quick Lessons guitar course, which is a 5-hour video course where I break down my most popular Instagram quick lessons. It has the in-depth music theory, techniques, harmony, improvisational concepts designed for all skill levels. It's 5+ hours of video content, music notation, guitar tab, has guitar profiles, and then 90 separate transcription PDFs. Okay, that's another, I don't know how many, like a couple hundred pages worth. So this is a massive amount of stuff, all for $99. If you bought something and you want to support the channel, I mean, look, if you're not a musician, you want to support the channel so that I can keep doing these video interviews like I did with Sting, like I did with Tommy Emmanuel, like I did with Pat Metheny. You can just, there's a donation button in the description. You can just donate to the channel and everything to help support those things. I want to do more of that. That's kind of the plan. This is really what I've set out to do this year, and I feel like I think I really achieved what I wanted to in 2021. I'm pretty happy with the direction of the channel. I said on my live stream on New Year's Eve last year that I wanted to do more sophisticated topics. I wanted to go back to some jazz artists, which I've done. I wanted to interview some of these legends, like I've done. Although I didn't get that. Most of the things I started to accomplish starting in the beginning of the summer, probably around May or so. It took a while, but obviously each successive interview with people like Sting or like Brian May or like Pat Metheny helps me get in touch with other people that people want to see interviewed on here. I want to interview Jimmy Page. I want to interview David Gilmour. I want to interview Robert Plant. I want to interview Jeff Beck. I want to interview, current artists. There's plenty that I want to do. So I want to interview Alex Lifeson. I see Helium Road say that. Alex and Getty. I'd like to interview both of them together. So I'd like to interview Paul McCartney. I'd like to interview Ringo. Not necessarily together. I'd like to interview them separately. And it can happen. It's just a matter of figuring out how to get in touch with the people. Interview Robert Smith. Love to interview Robert Smith. I have some things in the already in motion right now. Some pretty big things. So I'm working on it. I appreciate all the support from everyone. You guys are amazing. Check out my Beato book bundle, my ultimate bundle. Go to BeatoBlackFriday.com. It's a website created just for this sale. And it'll be turned off when it's over. L says, would I do a weekend internship in your studio where you could cover anything with guitar technique? Mostly just want an excuse to jam with you and play your guitars. Well, that's probably, I don't know when that would happen. Maybe I'll have that as something in the future. You guys are amazing. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, and look out for my Tommy Emmanuel interview on Tuesday. We'll see you later. Take care.